In this video, we're going to use Excel to come up with the minimum rate for the first example that we did. And if you remember with this example, we had a 200-room hotel, and they had a forecast of, looking at the way I've got it set up in Excel, I've got the 3 different days, and there's the forecast of 140, 190, and 180, and there's my group size. And you can see, I mean, up here in the left-hand corner, I've got information on the hotel size, the average room rate, the variable cost, and my other contribution. So I'm kind of setting the data that I need. And then I've got it set up so I can calculate my displacement, which same way we did it before. And you notice here also, here are the things I'm going to be calculating. The total number of displaced rooms, displaced revenue, my food and beverage contribution, the contribution needed, and then the minimum rate. So let's start entering some information, and then we'll go through and start doing some calculations. So I've got 200 rooms in my hotel. My average room rate happened to be 120, and my variable cost was 20, okay? And my other contribution, I had $5,000 in F&B contribution, okay? And so with my displacement, I can be looking at this and say, okay, 140 plus 50 is less than 200, so that displacement is going to be 0. For 190 plus 50, I add those together, 240. 240 minus 200 is 40, and then 30, okay? So I have a total, I'm going to add these up, I'm going to take the sum of my displacement, so D7 through D9, okay, that comes out to be 70 rooms displaced. My displaced revenue, well, that's just going to be multiplying those 70 rooms times my average room rate times subtract my variable cost. So it's just going to be equal to the 70, and I'm going to multiply that by 120 minus 20. Or you could just go ahead and have a separate cell that says 100. So they've got 7,000. My other contribution is the food and beverage. So I'm going to be putting in a negative sign here, minus $5,000. And so I need to get at least 7,000 plus this minus 5,000 is going to be $2,000 in contribution from this group. Oh, the minimum rate, if I look over here, I'm going to add up the total number of group rooms. So that's going to come up to be 150. So I add C7 through C9, 150. My minimum rate is going to be equal to the $2,000. It's going to be divided by my total number of group rooms, okay? And that's the $13.33. But remember, we need to add back in our variable cost. So I'm just going to add to that. I'm going to add the variable cost of 20. And that comes out to be $33.33. So that's the minimum rate that we would be able to offer to this group. And if you take a look at this, and we'll come back in another video and make this a little bit more complicated. We'll start looking at things like changing the group size, or look at things like changing the forecast. But for right now, take a look at the way that we set this up. We enter the information, we calculate our displacement, and then we calculate our minimum rate. And as I said, this is a very simple model to have set up within your spreadsheet, and so you could have this on your sales manager's desk so he or she could use it to quickly make a rate determination for a group that might be on the phone or might be in the office. And in the next video, we'll go through and make this a little bit more complicated so you can see some of the different sorts of analyses that you can do with this.